Hello, everybody. Welcome to El-Injurico, our La Liga show, our second show. We have a new co-host joining me this week, and potentially moving forward, Hugo Salazar, born and brought up in Venezuela, but in Canada right now. Hugo, tell
Yes,
us more
sir.
about yourself to our audience. How are you doing today?
Good, good. So yeah, as you said, I was born and raised in Venezuela. I moved to Canada about way too long now, 12 years I think it is. Living in Calgary, living it up here, dealing with the cold weather. But good, man. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about La Liga. Been looking forward to this.
Awesome.
So let's go.
Let's go. Well, he's another homer. He's a Real Madrid fan.
Ah,
Uh,
smart
and
man, Madrid.
and talking about Real Madrid, let's welcome in our soccer dog from Vancouver. How are you, Dr. Graywall?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. Mills, where are you traveling today? Are you still somewhere in the East Coast? Where are you at?
Yep, said time for our favorite part of the program. Where in the world is Mills?
There you go.
I was in Virginia Beach, now I'm back in Buckrow Beach, Virginia.
Okay, that's cool. Well, a quick recap from last week. Our five-leg parlay did not hit because of
I
Barcelona.
told you, one of the games you
Barcelona.
parlays,
Oh,
man. One of
Barca,
the
Barca,
ah,
parlays.
Barca.
That's good.
they 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 drew 1-1 with Espanyol, and that pretty much killed our parlay. But we would have everything else hit, so that was good. I think pretty standard results. Real Madrid won. Real Sociedad won, and looks like the table is not changed. Barcelona won, Real Madrid 2, Sociedad 3, Madrid 4, and Atletico Bilbao number 5. Okay, sweet. Going into the new year, first set of matchups coming up for La Liga. Hugo, which game are you more excited about this week?
Man, there's two I would say I'm looking forward to. Of course, being Real Madrid, my team, but also it's a really good game against Villarreal. It's a tough stadium to play in. Quique Setien used to be Barcelona manager. We know he likes to keep possession of the ball. So I think it's going to be back and forth. They're not going to sit back and wait for Madrid. They're going to play, right in front of them. So I'm looking forward to that one. And also, of course, that Barcelona Atletico Madrid game. It's
Okay,
pretty much a
let's
great rivalry.
yes, let's start with the main hitter this week. I think Barcelona Atletico Madrid is going to be the biggest game. Mills, what are the injury updates from Barcelona and Atletico Madrid? Let's start with Barcelona.
Barcelona's actually fully fit. They don't really have any like injuries. The only thing they have is like two suspensions. Jordi Alba, he has a red card, and also Robert Lewandowski, he is suspended.
Yep.
His appeal was he didn't win his appeal, so he's going to be out 3 games. And up some transfer news, they may be looking at the kind of the Mexican striker Raul Jimenez to
Hmm.
come in as a
Ah,
backup
Hmm.
as a backup to him because right now Barca cannot score at all. Their attack is
yep.
completely stuck in the mud.
Well,
A-
they killed my parlay. I know about that, Mills. Okay.
And
Let's talk about Atletico Madrid. Any injury updates for them?
once again, fully fit. They have is Mario Hermosa, the left back. I believe he's suspended too. That's it, just suspension,
Okay.
no injuries.
Dr. Graywell, you are a Real Madrid fan. I know you don't like Barcelona, but I think this game is going to be awesome. Any thoughts on the Barcelona Atletico Madrid game?
I don't know. I hope both teams can lose somehow. No, in all honesty, I mean, a
I get you,
draw,
man. I get that.
yeah, a draw or an Atletico win obviously helps Real Madrid the most. But I mean, you guys always come to me from the injury perspective. A lot of guys for both clubs were in the World Cup.
Hmm.
And so now I would expect them to be in situations where they're putting in a full 90, right? So you're looking at guys at Rodrigo De Paul, etc., who are back. You have to consider them recovered, hangovers over,
Hmm.
etc. Both squads almost at full fitness outside of the red cards. So I hope it's a dandy of a game. Honestly,
Okay,
I think
so
that's the goals.
so talking about the who's going to win, the FanDuel odds: Madrid to win is plus 210. Barcelona to win is plus 125. So clearly the books are favoring Barcelona out here. Let's go with predictions. Hugo, let's start with you. Barca, Atletico
Uh,
Madrid.
I'm gonna take Atletico Madrid on this one. They're playing at home. They're playing better.
Ooh,
Griezmann is playing really, really good.
okay,
Barcelona on the other side, not so much. So I'm taking Atletico for this one at home.
okay. Mr. Mills.
Same Atletico 1-0. Griezmann is in top form right now.
Okay,
Mhm,
Mr.
mhm.
Graywall.
I think it's a 1-1 draw. Barca's only given up 6 goals this year in La Liga. It's going to be stingy. So I
Okay.
think 1-1.
Well, everyone's thinking Barca is like out of Lewandowski and Alba, and everyone's predicting a draw or a Madrid win. But I'm picking Barcelona. Barcelona's going to win it. I think that's my pick this week. Okay, let's go with our next game. Of course, we have to talk about Real Madrid. They play Villarreal. Let's start with the injury updates. Mills, any update? Any injuries for Real Madrid or Villarreal?
Let's because Real Madrid actually is coming off. They actually played a match on Tuesday against in the Copa del Rey round 32 against Calcedo. I believe I'm saying that wrong. I apologize. Really, and they rested some of their big hitters. Vinicius Jr., Benzema, Cruz, and Modric. They rested, but they still got in the full thing, so they should be ready for Villarreal. But actually, they did lose Alvaro Odriozola. He has a muscle injury, so he is probably going to be out. And their right back depth is going to be definitely tested because
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Carvajal has a muscle overload in his soleus muscle, and
Mm-hmm.
also Mariano, their striker Mariano Diaz, he's coming off of an ankle sprain. So
Okay.
yeah, and Villarreal, once again they only have one Giovanni Lo Celso. He's a match time decision with that hamstring injury, but they say he's doubtful.
Dr. Graywall, anything on Real Madrid and thoughts on Karim Benzema as well?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously scored some big goals in their last La Liga game. So you have to consider him fully fit. I think the World Cup break, obviously, he was probably upset to not play, but it was some
Mm-hmm.
nice time off for him as it sounded like he had some muscular fatigue after having some difficulty with diagnostic clarity there for a bit. So I think Benzema is pretty much back, and you have to consider him fully fit at this time. And then Madrid, yeah, a little banged up. Obviously, Danny Carvajal with the calf issue. And then looks like Mariano, he had posted a picture on Instagram. He's got a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good ankle sprain. Wouldn't surprise me if he's a few weeks out for them. And then obviously for Villarreal, yeah, Giovanni Lo Celso unfortunately missed the World Cup for Argentina. They've listed him as
Mm-hmm.
doubtful. I'd be surprised if he played, but who knows? The Yellow Submarines might pull out all the stops as they're playing arguably, their biggest
so,
game of the year.
so Real Madrid play 4 games in January. Is the injuries going to impact like any long term plans for the top players?
I don't think so. No, I
Okay.
don't think so. I think they're okay. I think Carlo Ancelotti's not big on squad rotation, so no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Hugo. By the way, if we pronounce any name wrong, it's your responsibility to correct us. You are from the
All right.
motherland of Spanish speaking people out here. Go ahead. Thoughts on Real Madrid and Villarreal?
Yeah, like I said, tough game. If we're talking results here, I do see a tie on this one. Real Madrid didn't start with great shape this year, the beginning of the year. Villarreal on the opposite side is playing really well. So I see a tie on this one. Even though they have older players, it's going to be a good one. Hoping for the
Okay.
win, but realistically speaking, I see the tie.
Interesting. Interesting. Mills, thoughts on the game? Who's gonna win?
Like I said, I'm really concerned about Real Madrid. Their fullback depth. I mean, especially at the right back. Maybe they'll be able to maybe slow down the Villarreal attack, but I still think Villarreal will win 1-0.
Wow, Mills going back to back upsets. Dr.
It's
Graywall.
just that type of day, baby.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Graywall, I'm pretty sure you're a homer. Real Madrid 2-1, I presume.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 1-0. I think
Okay.
I think they will suffer. I think they will suffer at Villarreal, but I know they're worried about the fullbacks, but you know what? They got guys like Nacho they can put in there who are more than capable of defending. They might not as
Mhm.
give you much
Uh,
going forward, but I think they'll be okay. So yeah, I think they'll be all right, but they'll win a tight one.
Yep. Real Madrid won last 2 games. I think they're going to beat Villarreal. I think, again, it's an away game, so it'll be tough. I think it'll be a tough game. Let's jump on to the next game. Which one do we want to talk about? Let's talk about Atletico Bilbao and Osasuna. That's another team. Atletico Bilbao kind of in a hunt to kind of, I don't know, they're up there in the top 5 or so. Hugo, tell us more about Atletico Bilbao and Osasuna.
So I think something to mention about this weekend is 8 out of the top 9 clubs at the top are playing against each other. So there's a lot of shuffling this weekend happening. Okay? So it's going to be very interesting to watch. I mean, like you said, Atletico is right there in the top 4, I believe, right now. And Osasuna is behind them. But I mean, with a win, they will get themselves in European positions. So, I mean, I think Atletico is coming out of a few tough games, so I think they should look to bounce back against Osasuna. It's a relatively weaker team, and they're playing at home. Atletico's field is very, very hard, very, very tough to play in. So I see Atletico Bilbao taking the win on this one.
Okay. Mills, Bilbao or Osasuna?
Yeah, so they're both relatively healthy. I mean, Bilbao really only has two. Inizio Martinez, they said some physical discomfort, and and they said it's a muscular strain that he's been like dealing with, and he's questionable, but they said he could be expected to play. I doubt that. And also, Ander Kappa, he too has a muscular strain. So just those two for Athletic Bilbao and Osasuna, like I said, is relatively healthy. They just have Unai Garcia. He's has a red card. He's going to be suspended for this game. And also Nacho Vidal. He has a muscular injury. His return was late January, but he's been training. He's been like returning to form. But I don't think I think it's a little bit too early. Maybe one or two more matches, then he'll come back.
Dr. Grable, I know World Cup's done. It's almost like 2 weeks after the World, probably 3 weeks. How long is it going to take for like the top players, especially the ones who went to the semifinal, final? Like the fatigue is going to like, how long does that last, or is it more of a hangover thing? They're back in a week or so.
I think they're okay. I think we're at the point where you have to consider everyone fit. The schedule is going to be crammed, right? So now it's almost the same. So even for the players who didn't go to the World Cup, things are going to get slammed because right now there's cup games going on in the league. Champions League is going to come back soon enough. Those teams make runs. Obviously, England, we're not talking about England, but England has an extra competition as well. So, I mean, I think that's going to be the big thing now is the crammed schedule because of the World Cup disrupting the regular schedule.
I think just looking at other leagues outside of EPL, like La Liga, Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, everyone, I think January is kind of like a slow period for them. Like I mentioned, Real Madrid is playing only 4 games this week, I think, this month. And most of the La Liga teams are playing only like 4 or 5 games this month. So that's kind of like helping them ramp up for the Champions League. Hugo, tell us more about the Spanish side chances in the Champions League. I know that's creeping up soon. What, like in a month and a half? So,
yeah, it's pretty soon here, starting at the end of the month here. Are you talking about a Spanish side, any team in particular, or?
Go ahead. No, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Yep.
I mean, Real Madrid, it's in Barcelona. I think should be back in it right away. We know Barcelona lost right now, and they're back in the Europa League, so they need to really, really step it up. I'm expecting them to go a little further than they did last year in the Europa League. Okay, they're trying to really exceed expectations this year. Real Madrid should be in. The fight in the last spot, that 3 and 4 spot in the Liga, is the one I'm really interested in. Like I said, between the top 9, top 10, it's still very open.
Okay, cool. I think one of the easier schedule this week for the top 4 team, Real Sociedad, is probably going to pretty much win this game against Almeria. Am I pronouncing that right, Hugo?
Almeria.
There you go. I think Sociedad is going to win that game. Mills, any major injury updates or Sociedad?
Said yeah, they have a few. Well, first off, the suspension, Brian Mendez, the midfielder, he is going to miss that game. Alex Sola, he has a muscular injury. He'll probably be back in late January, so he'll miss that game. And their forward depth is definitely going to be tested with Carlos Fernandez. He has a muscular strain. He will be doubtful, and also Martin Merkenlans. I believe I'm saying that wrong, Hugo. He actually has an MCL injury. He had a knee injury that no, they really didn't do. There's more scans. It actually is an MCL injury, grade one sprain.
Hmm.
He'll the return timeline is probably they're saying 1 to 3 weeks. I'm going to go say more 2 to 4.
Okay, Dr. Graywell. So Mills' prediction is 2 to 4 weeks, but we want proper analysis of an MCL injury out here. How does that affect soccer? I know like MCL, ACL happens in like American football, and
Mhm.
the recovery timeline is different. But soccer, it's a different sport. Like, how does an MCL affect soccer compared to football?
Good question. Well, football, I mean, it's a little bit position dependent. So I think you could put receivers and running backs and soccer players a little bit together, right? A lot of cutting and shifting and changing direction very quickly. Probably more in football in just the sense that they have to run these quick routes where sometimes you could argue in a soccer game, I mean, a center backs, there's a lot of straight line movement out there. So there's probably less of it. But the big thing for him is just after the initial stages, kind of getting that swelling down, trying to get him pain free. And then after that, it's just going to be judging his stability in his knee as he starts doing some work in the gym. And once he's comfortable with that, get him on the field, get him with a ball, get him moving out there, and then get him into a bit of training. Nice thing about a grade one, injury is that it's not as severe, and so your recovery can be pretty quick. I think I don't want to argue here with Millsy. We're all on the same team here, but I think kind of 1 to 3 weeks is appropriate. 1 week is probably, or 1 week, sorry, I should say, is probably a little bit optimistic. That's a pretty quick ramp up, even with these guys with world class medical support staffs. So I mean, I think in and around 2 weeks is quite reasonable for a grade one MCL injury. And you know what? There's other things to factor in there. I don't know the club as well, right? How badly do they need him out
Mhm.
there? What's their squad depth of that position? And what's their schedule like moving forward, right? So maybe they should hold him for an extra game. And the hard thing too with like football and soccer specifically is that they don't play like every second, third day like the NBA and NHL. So maybe he doesn't feel great on Saturday, but like Sunday or Monday he feels okay. And all of a sudden that 2 week injury looks like a 3 week injury because they don't play till next weekend. So
Mhm.
that's the small caveat there when we look at timelines for players and how long they're out.
And
Okay.
from what I was reading, there was like no rotational composition to the injury, so it could be about it could be about like you said about 2 weeks. That's about right. That's about right. And these two are actually like some of their rotational wingers that they put in. So like they would, I mean they start sometimes, but it's like not like some of their like I mean like I mean, yeah, so yeah, they do get some minutes. They do get some minutes, but it's not really like their starters. But they are pretty much key. Think of them like sixth and seventh men off the bench.
Yeah, well, I think we mentioned it in our last week's show. The problem with like the mid-tier teams, even like Real Sociedad standing at number three, they don't have the same bench strength as Real Madrid or Barcelona. So I
That's true.
think
Exactly.
that's going to come in bite them, especially in like the thick of schedule with the cup and everything coming in. Sweet. Any final thoughts, gentlemen? We'll start with Hugo. Any final thoughts on week two or show two of our El-Injurico?
No, like I said, it's going to be a big weekend for La Liga. Those nine clubs are the top 10 or eight of the top nine are competing against each other to play for those European spots. Uh, but you know who I'm cheering for this weekend. Let's go Madrid. And
Okay.
yeah, we'll be talking about these next week.
Okay, Melt.
Yeah, yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun. It's going to be a great one. Like I said, there's a log jam up top. It's going to probably sort itself out
Hmm.
because of these top 10 matchups and stuff like that. But you really, really want to look at this. I'm kind of concerned maybe about Real Sociedad because Almeria they have no injuries. They have a clean injury sheet, so they're coming in fully fit. So maybe
Okay.
that's a bigger determinant against it.
Okay, Dr. Grayball.
Just because it's our second episode and we haven't touched on this club yet, but Sevilla is typically one of the big Spanish clubs currently sitting in a relegation
Hmm.
position with
Yes.
12 points,
Mm.
right? And also very banged
Hmm.
up. Alex Telles is out. Doesn't look like he's going to play this week. Thomas Delaney, he's going to be out for at least another week. And then we're even looking at like Jesus Corona is unlikely to play. So banged up, things aren't going well, and it doesn't look like anyone's coming back this week. So that is one of the interesting relegation things to watch as well in European football.
Well, Sevilla is like pretty much like synonym with the champions of Europa League for a long time, and now they're battling relegation. So hopefully they make it through. We want La Liga to be like more like 6 to 8 teams competing rather than always Real Madrid, Barcelona. So let's hope for the best. Atletico is kind of it's there. Okay, so my final thought this week is always my prop for this week. I'm gonna go Real Madrid to win, Barca to win, Sociedad to win, and Atletico Bilbao to draw against Osasuna. So let's see how that parlay hits. It's a 14 parlay, and let's rock and roll.